Hello, and welcome back to Tangents with Grace. Apparently, this should be Tangents with Grace and Lincoln because I'm Grace and this is Lincoln, and he's appearing in every tangent so far. So, today's tangent is all about habits through alignment. What are your habits, and do they align with what you're aiming for in life? That is today's question. So let's go ahead and jump on in. So some examples of what I'm talking about here. Do you wake up in the morning and go get a cup of coffee and go, or maybe you don't even drink coffee, but you just go get something sweet or whatever, and you're trying to lose weight? That is your goal. And you just went and got something sweet. You got a cinnamon roll, you got a donut, you got whatever. Maybe you got a whole dozen donuts. I don't know. But does that align? Does that align with what your goals are? So for myself, I'll go ahead and align it to me and where I'm at currently. My habit that I'm going to be changing is I have accustomed myself to eating junk and paying the price for that. In living like this, it's very challenging to go out of your way and cook meals. So anything that's packaged, anything that just is so easy to go grab and eat or throw it in the microwave for a minute and eat it, that's what I've gravitated to for a year now. And my body is drastically paying the price for that. I am feeling it in so many ways. It is not at all fun. So I've made the decision that I'm now going to, I haven't made the decision with me. That I'm now going to change my habit of what's convenient and put some extra effort into watching what goes into my body, into going and just making the food, into whatever it takes to start feeling better, to start getting the inflammation down in my body, to start having more energy through what I'm putting into my mouth, into having just a healthier overall lifestyle. I am out here, I'm very active, I'm constantly moving, so it's not the mobility thing that's so much of a troublesome thing to overcome, but it's this eating thing and the convenience. I'm not interested in standing around trying to figure out how to cook over a fire. But I'm something in my throat. Anyway, I'm going to be now. And so that is my new venture. You'll be seeing a lot of little clips of behind the scenes in my stories over on Instagram in the times to come here, because I'm putting together my shopping list, and I'm actually working with ChatGPT on suggestions and ideas to make it easier in this camping setting, how to eat healthy, how to cook in like one pot and eat out of that pot instead of having a ton of dishes. That's another big thing. Dishes are a challenge around here. So you can go ahead and watch that along the way over on Instagram. But today's topics of habits, that it brings me into, that's a habit I'm going to have to break and create a new one, because there's a whole science behind it. There's a bunch of studies, whatever, blah, 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 where when you remove one habit, you must replace it with another, or you'll just fall right back into it. There is no such thing as I'll just quit this without refilling that void, refilling that gap. Whether you're a movie binger or you know, whatever it is you like to go do, if you wanted to quit doing that and you wanted to, just stop cold turkey, sugar, for instance, you just want to quit sugar, or you want to quit, whatever, drinking, I don't know. You've got to have something that fills in that gap, that desire, so that you don't fall back into whatever it is that you automatically are gravitating towards. And the only reason you're automatically gravitating towards that is because you've created this habit. And so that's where you have to step in, replace that, whatever that is for you. For me, it's going to be replacing the sugar. The sugar addiction is real. I crave sugar like nobody's business. And so my little hack to cutting craving sugar is extra protein. And if I'm just that desperate for sugar, I'll chew gum. And I hate chewing gum. but it curbs that craving. It cuts that desire of I need sugar now feeling. And so whatever it is, find the reason, find the we're having some conniptions over here. So anyway, sorry. Find the answer to your problem. There is always an answer to the problem. And so if you're having a hard time finding what that substitute will be, like for me with the, having more protein or chewing on some gum or whatever it is, like if you're having a hard time problem solving that, that's when you need to reach out for help. That's when you need to get guidance from somebody and have somebody partnered with you in this. Apparently the bag is fun to scratch and peck in right now for Ivan. So if that sound is super loud, I apologize. And the dog wants to play ball. So anyway, welcome to daily life around here of all our chaos and whatever. But it is a joy. It really is. But anyway, with the habits, create your habits. You've got to sit down. Shh, I'm talking. You've got to sit down and have that time to figure out what are the habits that you currently have and be really honest with yourself. Do you spend 5,000 hours scrolling? I think, what was it? The average person spends, I want to say it was like 4 or 6 hours a day scrolling. That's like a part-time job. Like, seriously, don't get caught up in the scrolling. Do something productive. Go read a book. Go listen to a book. There's Audible books. There's all kinds of options out there now that you don't have to mindlessly scroll and waste your life away. You can never get your time back. That is the one thing that you should never waste. And so what is the habits that you're doing? What is the real habits? What are you doing every single day? If you sit there and did a daily time tracker and you said from 7:30 to 8 I did this, or even 15-minute increments. I've heard of some people that do them in 15-minute increments. So 7:30 to 7:45 I was doing this, 7:45 to 8 a.m. like I did this, and tracked it out. I know it sounds tedious. It's not something forever. It is tedious, but it's worth your effort and it's worth your time to figure out what you are truly doing day in and day out for a week straight. You don't have to really do more than a week unless you feel compelled. I've never heard of anybody doing it more than a month. But, well, I shouldn't say I've never heard of anybody doing it for more than a month. I've heard of people who actually live this way, tracking every minute of their day. So you can get really buried into the weeds of this. So I'm just encouraging you for at least a week. Sit there and track. See where you really are putting your time. And is that getting you where you want to go in life? Is that where the hiccup is of where your block is, where you're not getting to where you want to be as fast or even at all? If it's just slowing you down, is it worth that time of slowing you down? So for instance, some days I have to sit and veg out on a movie. Now, I may only get 30 minutes through the movie. I may get through the whole movie. I may get through 2 movies. This is not a daily thing for me. This is like maybe once a month or once every other month or something like that I'll sit down. I think, honestly, I just watched a movie this last weekend, and it was the first movie, and it took me all weekend to get through it. It was like 40 minutes one day and 40 minutes the next day, and that's the first full movie I've watched in probably 4 months. Something like that. It's been a long time. So I'm not encouraging you to become a couch potato, but I am affirming you in sometimes we need to just relax. And whatever that is for you, it could be coloring. It could be sitting there listening to some of these stories. There's all kinds of stories available to us now on YouTube and wherever else. There's different podcasts that are just stories. And to sit there and color can take your nervous system and reprogram it into a relaxation mode. We are so programmed to be amped, and go all the time. And we do have to take time to sit down and relax and just have that time. But anyway, back to the habits. I highly encourage you to sit down and be really honest with yourself. What are your daily habits? You can even look at the screen time. It tracks you on your phone if you let it track you on your phone. I don't think it always just does. I think you have to allow it. But it'll let you know, where are you scrolling? Where are you spending your time? Are you spending a bunch of time? Maybe you're not even spending a ton of time on your phone. Maybe you're doing something else. Maybe, I don't know what. But evaluate your life, and then evaluate those habits and what you're doing day in and day out, and make sure that they're aligning with your goals. And if not, then let's reprogram. Let's remove one habit, and don't remove 10 habits in a day. Remove one at a time. Stick with that one habit that's been removed and fill in that gap with the new habit. Make sure you're pre-planning before you switch things. I see I'm doing this. I would like to be doing this. Okay, let's take one thing at a time to redo. Because if you do too many, you're just going to burn out and you're going to say, forget it, this is too hard. Because it's almost a detox for your body to go through this. And I know that sounds crazy, but it is. Your body reprogramming its habits is going to go through almost a withdrawal kind of thing. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel weird and awkward. And you just need to continue on with this weird awkward phase, but you can minimize the weird awkward phase by just removing one habit at a time and replacing it with the new one immediately and going from there. So if, for instance, you are scrolling, you don't want to scroll, or maybe you want to start including rest. Maybe you're so amped and you have so many things on your to-do list all the time that your body is getting into a burnout from adrenaline, from the run, go, go, go. And maybe you need to breathe. And that's a hard thing. So finding that hour in your week, finding the day you take off or the half day you take off, and doing what? What are you going to do with that time outside of the go, 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 so your mind can shut down? So are you going to sit there and learn how to knit? Are you going to learn how to sew? Are you going to learn how to play checkers or chess or something like that that's just totally outside of whatever it is you normally do? Or are you going to just sit there and watch a movie and just space out and shh, hey, we're talking? Are you going to just sit there and space out and listen to a story, just staring out? I cannot recommend it enough to get your feet on the ground. I know it's hard coming into winter here, but you still have time. And even in the winter, I'm sure you can find a space that's dry enough to touch the ground. It actually has a neuron thing. I'm not going to get into all the details because I don't even know how to completely explain it all myself, but it does an aligning within your body. It does a magnetic centering, if you will. And it is so good for your body to touch the dirt. So these are just some of my tips. I know I've gone over a little bit today, but I just really feel that it is so important that we find alignment within our lives. And I really believe that the alignment piece is what's missing for so many of us in reaching our goals, in getting to where we want to be. And so that's why I spent 3 different videos here discussing this, because it's such a big topic and so important that I felt it necessary to go ahead and address it in each different little category. But with that, I just thank you so much for joining me on these little tangents, and thank you so much for being a part of my little world over here. And Lincoln, now sleeping, he appreciates you all too. Oh, I said his name. Anyway, we just are so grateful for you, and we would love to link arms to connect with you to help walk you through all these things. So our inbox is always open if you want to reach out. My email is in the description below if you ever want to reach out. But I'm also over on Instagram at Faith Feathers and Fur, and you can reach out over there as well. But we are here for you, and we are cheering you on. And I would absolutely love to hear what your goals are. What are the habits that you're going to change? What are the habits that you currently have that you love and that are working so well? Because those are really important too. Not just looking for things to change, but what is working. And the rest of us can learn from that. So I would love to hear what habits you have currently that are working for you and what habits are not. And with that, we're going to just go ahead and jump on off. But thank you so much again for joining us. And so from my flock, herd, pack, and heart to yours, we'll talk to you soon. See you next time. God bless. Bye-bye. You say bye?